I'm going to walk you through some examples of how to complete your week 5 assignment, symbol condensation annotations for communications 40464 persuasive communication course. So first of all, please notice in the assignment, you have a few links that will help you with your assignment. The first is the link to Hypothesis, which is the tool you will be using to complete your assignment. Please do click on this link and check out the tool Hypothesis and the links provided here to assist you in learning the tool. The second link I want to draw your attention to is tips for creating your annotation. So I will be going over a number of the tips here in this video. However, I do encourage you to review this website as you're creating your annotations to provide you with an asynchronous guide. Finally, the third and final link in this post is the grading rubric so that you can zoom in here and see exactly how your annotations in your assignment will be graded. Of course, if you have any questions on any of these links, please do reach out to your instructor. Now, after you've reviewed those links and you've read all of the directions within the assignment, please do click the red link here at the top with the title of the assignment, which will launch the Hypothesis assignment for you. All right, so in this video, I'm going to model for you a few of the options for your annotations that are valid for grading. Now, there are other annotations that you are welcome to use, but these are the ones that we will be looking for when grading your assignment. Now, because this is a sample, and these are sample annotations strictly for this video, you will notice that these annotations do not correspond to the text, but of course your annotations will. These samples are strictly to help you learn the tool. All right, so the first thing that you need to do when you are creating an annotation is select the text that you want to annotate. So you can highlight 2 words, you can highlight 2 lines, whatever it is that you want to annotate. But please be careful. Make sure that you are only highlighting the text that you want to annotate. If you are trying to highlight 2 sentences and you highlight 2 lines, that is not acceptable. So please make sure you're only highlighting the text that you specifically want to annotate. Then simply click the annotate button. If you click the highlight button, your instructor and your classmates will not be able to see your annotation. You must click the annotate button. Then you get a pop-up here over on the right where you are able to create your annotations or your comments. So the first annotation is strictly your words, your text. I find this section to be important because it's contemporary. And I just put that because it's a word that's right there in the highlighted section. All right, now, once you have provided your annotation, which of course is going to be longer than that, it's going to be at least 2 to 3 sentences because that's what the directions ask you to do. You can tag it. The beauty of tags, just like with social media, means that other students can search and find your annotations easier and you can find theirs. So maybe I want to tag it with the word contemporary. And then I want to put a comma because that's going to assign a tag. Maybe I want to tag it with the word political because I see that in the text that I highlighted. you decide what tags you're going to have. Now, after you've created your annotation and you've added any tags that you want to add, you have this drop down here. The first option is to post to the course. The second one is to make sure that it's posted only for you. I recommend, if it's in draft format and you're not completely ready to post to the course, to post it only for yourself. Only post it to the course when you're ready to share with your classmates and when it's ready for grading. Now, if I post only to me, notice I have a pencil icon here. I can always come back in and edit my annotation, edit my tags, and change my posting to the course. But for tonight, I'm going to post only to me because, again, these are sample annotations just for this video. Okay, the second sample annotation that we're going to do for this video revolves around using a web link. So again, start by highlighting your text and clicking the annotate button. Now, in this annotation, I am showing a web link. Probably should make that 2 words. Okay, now you can link any kind of website you want. You can link an article, you can link a blog, you can link a social media post, you can link a YouTube video, pretty much any web link that you feel fits your annotation. But you need the exact link. So I already have all of my web links ready to go. If you do, that will definitely speed up your annotations, but I understand as you're digesting the article, you might want to find your links as you go. So you want to grab the exact URL. We'll talk about that a little bit more with some of the other examples. Grab that exact URL, come back to your hypothesis, highlight the text that you want to link, then click the link button and paste. Now, for a second, that's going to look a little weird. You're going to say, well, I pasted a web link, but it doesn't look like a link. It just looks like the web address is there. If you click preview, now you can see what it's going to look like when you post it. And if you really want to make sure that you did it right, you can actually click on that link and it'll pop up the website. So you can always check your work before you post it. And then again, if you want to, you can do your tag, web link, website. And in this case, this was a Forbes article, so maybe I will do a tag for Forbes. And I'm posting only to me because, again, these are drafts. So there's the first 2 examples. One that was only my own words and one that included a web link, in this case, to an article. All right, next we're going to do a web link to a social media post. So I'm just going to grab some text here and annotate this text for a Twitter post. And I'm going to, Twitter post is what's going to get a link. Now, if I come over here to my Twitter, we'll see I'm in my feed. But if I just grab the URL, that's going to put my search. Well, I don't want my search. If I did want my search, that's fine. If I wanted the whole search results, then I could grab the URL. But I just want this one post. So I'm going to click on this one post from Wired Magazine. And now, if I grab the URL, I get just the one post from Wired Magazine. And I preview it. And if I click that link, the first thing that'll come up in the feed will be that post from Wired magazine, and then all the replies to it. So that's what you want to do, is you want to make sure that you click that exact post before you grab the URL. And then throw in your tags. Twitter, Wired, anything else you feel is appropriate. And I'm going to post it to myself for now. All right, so we have an annotation of my own thoughts. We have an annotation with a web link to an article. We have an annotation with a web link to social media. Next, we're going to do, oh, a little bit of a sneak peek there. Next, we're going to do another web link, but this one is going to be for a YouTube video. So once you have your YouTube video ready to go, just like before, select the text you wish to annotate. This time we have a YouTube video. And this is not just limited to YouTube. This is any video, because it can be any URL. So whether it's a TED Talk, a Vimeo, a YouTube, any video, this will work. So grab my URL for YouTube, throw it in. I apologize. Throw it in there. Preview it. Click the link. And there it is. Came up again just like it was over here paused. And then throw in my tags if I want to. YouTube. And this was a Schoolhouse Rock video. And then I can save it to myself. All right, last example, which I'm sure you're dying to see that butterfly, right? Okay, so grab us some text to annotate. The final example is an image. All right, so unfortunately, you cannot simply upload an image from your computer. You do have to have an image that has a URL. So if you have an image on your computer that you feel works best for an annotation, you do have to upload it to a Google Drive, a OneDrive, a Dropbox, etc., and then it'll have a URL. So once you have a URL, then you can do what we did with every other, almost every other one. You highlight the text that you want to put the URL on. You grab the exact URL of that image. But then instead of clicking the insert link button like we've been doing, you want to click the image button next to it. Paste your URL, and I'm going to show you what happens when you click preview. Okay, so that must not have been the exact URL of the image. Let's try that again. See, this is, okay, this is a great thing. I thought I had the exact URL of the image and I didn't, and this is why you want to be careful and make sure you have the exact URL. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking my mouse and I am right-clicking on the image and I'm opening in a new tab. Now I have the exact URL of the image, and I'm going to replace this URL with the URL of the image. It's a lot longer and more complicated, but that's okay because nobody's going to see that. Now when I click preview, there's our pretty butterfly. So you have to make sure that you have the exact URL of the image, because when we didn't, we thought we did, but we didn't, it didn't show up properly. So Make sure you have the exact URL of the image. So, and then we can tag it, image, butterfly, anything else that you want to tag it. So those are your options